Hey! I was trying to do the goats from that video. It's hilarious. Do another live. I want to talk about a couple topics. Talked about in the book about the growth mindset. Actually, it was a mindset, the new psychology of success by Dr. Carol S. Dweck. She talks about growth and fixed mindsets, and I talk about that in the book. And an example of, I heard a good example of it earlier was someone was talking about, I know a lot of people capable of doing things, but I don't know a lot of people willing to do things. So growth is fixed is what you can do at that moment. So your thinking is someone asks you can do something, and then your mindset is fixed. You're going to say, well, I can't do that. But in a growth mindset, you're going to think, what do I need to do to level up to accomplish that? So what skills can I develop? What knowledge can I gain? That's growing into what you want to become, as opposed to fixed mindset, which I don't know why it happens to almost every single adult on the planet. Like once they get to adulthood and they get kids, they're just like, all right, this is it. This is who I am forever. Like they don't expand anything. They just they're like, well, this is me. Like this is me now. This is who I'm going to be forever. But that's the fixed mindset, and that's going back to that quote. Is it's not about what you're capable of doing. It's about what you're willing to do to make it happen, and that's what growth mindset is. What do I need to do to make what I want happen? And knowing that you're not stuck where you are, like you can grow beyond that. You have your own limits set in your mind, and you just need to remove them, because that's what the growth mindset's all about, is understanding that there is nothing stopping you from growing into what you want to be. Like if you really want it, you can go after it, and that's what the growth mindset is understanding that any hand you've been dealt, that it's a choice about how you get through it and how you grow from it. And that's another thing to keep in mind. Like I said, mindset, psychology of success by Carol S. Dweck. It's a great book. Really opened up my mind, because I was always like, you know what, you're right. Like I've always been told, like, once you're an adult, and that's pretty much what you are. But it's not. I mean, that's your choice to just stay that way. You can grow. You can choose to grow. Tank top edition, thanks to my new redone tattoo by JoJo Woods at Red Octopus in Crofton. Very talented. I looked at her work before emailing her and saying, what you're doing is super. It's terrific. I like it. And she kind of showed me some sketches, and I'm like, I like it. Go for it. So turned out pretty good. I like it. So you get a tank top edition. You get some muscles. Ooh, I can't show it. There you get some muscles. Just so it's said, I read Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk book after I wrote my book. Obviously, because I wouldn't have used the same story he used, which was the feeding of the wolf. It's kind of a lot how I felt at that time about watching new stuff now, screenwriting, like doing some screenwriting. I don't really want to watch some new stuff because I don't want to be influenced by what's out there right now. So, excuse me. It was the same deal with when I was writing Boil the Frog. I didn't want to read anything else. I wanted to finish it and then get it out as it was. But irregardlessly, as they said in The Sopranos, Jay Shetty, his book, Think Like a Monk. I was re-listening to it this week and part of last week. Yeah, re-listening to it. And the first time I listened to it, I kind of got it, and I was kind of muddling my way through it. I was pretty early in my comeback or journey or whatever you want to call it. So it was one of those, I wasn't really ready for it yet, but I re-listened to it, and I got to this story he was talking about, Jay Shetty and Think Like a Monk. He was in they're about to meditate, so they're in absolute silence. There's no talking, and there was four monks in a room, and one of the monks is in charge of lighting the candles or lighting the lamps, and so they're not supposed to talk. I mean, that's part of the ritual, is like you're in absolute silence. And well, whoever was supposed to light the lamps was taking a little too long, so one of the monks were like, "Light the lamps already." He broke his silence. And then a third monk was like, "Hey, you're not supposed to talk. You're breaking the silence." And then the fourth monk said, "Well, well, I'm the only one who held my silence for the whole time. You all broke your vow of silence." Or I don't know if it's a vow or not. But then he said one of the, like, a line. If I hadn't been driving, if I had been walking, this probably would have stopped me dead in my tracks. He said about the judgment of what was going on, every monk failed. Every monk was judging the other monk for not living up to a high standard, but then every monk succeedingly, what's the word? Like, in turn, broke the very vow that they were chastising the other people for violating. So it's like, if you hold yourself to a high standard and then you judge somebody else for not living up to that standard, then you're not living up to that standard either. And that's the part that, if I was like, that stopped me in my tracks mentally, but I was driving. And it was just one of those, oh my God, moments. Almost as much as like the subconscious mind can't interpret another person other than itself. So when you say bad things about other people, it thinks you're saying it to yourself, and it like generates that into the brain algorithm. What I'm theorizing exists. There's a brain algorithm. And so when you're judging other people, you're talking about other people, you're always running them down, like that's like running yourself down, because that's like talking in a mirror, because your subconscious doesn't understand the difference between you saying that about somebody else or itself. Because what I heard or read, I'm not sure which, was the subconscious mind only understands itself, and it doesn't recognize any other beings other than itself. So whatever you say, and back to whatever you feed the wolf, the algorithm, that's when it's going to come back to you. So that's how stuff comes back around to you. Like, in theory, that's kind of how they say, kindness comes back to you. It's like, if you put that energy out, it's going to come back to you the exact same way. And that's the same way your subconscious thinks, because it's pretty selfish. I think it was Simon Sinek. I said his name wrong. He's got glasses. You'd recognize him. He's pretty famous. And it's the same idea with your brain doesn't think in a negative. So don't say what you want. Don't say what you don't want. Like, I don't want that to happen. And he's like, I will prove it to you now. Don't think of an elephant. What is the first thing you think about is an elephant? Your brain doesn't understand the difference. So It all goes into your mindset and your intention and what you're putting out there and what's coming back to you. So if you're trying to be kind, you're looking for the good, you're putting that out there, that's going to come back to you. But if you're always judging everybody else, you're always talking about everybody else, that's going to come back to you too. Like, it's just how it seems to work. So, third topic. When I'm running, it's you think about a lot of stuff, but what I want to say is when you run, it's not about how fast you're going. It's about the fact that you're running. I think it was in the Michael Jordan movie with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I think it was like Air or something. And he was talking about running. He was like, when you're out running, you understand that running is the finish line. Like being out there, being showing effort, challenging yourself. It's the journey. It's not the speed. And that's what I wanted to convey was however you're traveling, it doesn't matter how fast you're going or how long it takes you to get there. As long as you're working your way towards that. Remember before you had a goal, you were working towards nothing. So you were just wasting all that energy. But now that you have a goal, you can focus all your energy working that way, that way, that way. That's going to chip away. And you're going to just work your way there little by little every day. And it doesn't matter how long that takes. You're a train. You're going to get to your destination. Sometimes you got to go real slow. Sometimes you can go fast. But you're going to get to where you're going if you just keep going that way. So don't worry. Don't compare. Like always, comparison is the thief of joy. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Celebrate their victories. Like cheer them on. It's their turn. It's their turn. Cheer them on. They're not your enemy. Like I said in a post before, it's like if I'm out there, if I'm going for something, you want to go all the way. You want to go for the best. You want to be for the best. So when you have that mindset of whoever I'm going against, I hope they do their best and I beat them anyway. That's the mindset. Like I want them to be at their best and I want to be at my best and my best is better than theirs because I prepared better. Like that's what that means. So it's not how about how fast you get there. It's about the fact that you're going there and you're going to end up there. So don't worry about the rest of the stuff. You're going to get there. The last thing I want to talk about is recently, fire controlman chief named Brian Whitaker retired from the United States Navy honorably. He was a fire controlman chief. I knew him. I was in the Navy from like 2001 to 2007, so he's retiring now. I think he came in after me and he's retiring now. I'm fine with that, by the way, but Brian Whitaker was always, he knew me at my probably one of my worst times. So, and even then, this guy was always, he was always smiling, like laughing. I mean, he's like, I'm a little scared of you, but you're kind of funny. Like, always had a smile on his face. And he is the epitome of positive mindset. Like, you look, he always had, there was no knocking the smile off this guy's face. He was the epitome of a positive mindset. Like, he had that look on his face. He's just like looking around, like he's just like, isn't this awesome? Like, this is awesome. All the time, he just had that mentality. Even when we were getting yelled at, like you could look over him and he's kind of got like a smirk on his face, and he's like, you could see it on his face. He was like, "This is also awesome, but terrifying." So he always had that really good mentality about him, and that's what I remember about him the most is that you could not knock that smile off the guy's face. I'm really proud to know the guy. I'm sorry he didn't know me at a better time, but he's a great guy. I'm glad he got to retire. I want to say, Brian, stay busy. The retirees, they seem to just like slump off into their chair. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stay busy. Find something else. Find your passion. Enjoy your life, brother. Thank you for your service. All right. Well, oh, oh. And it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Brian. I forgot. That was the entire point. I was like, oh yeah, Brian. I just saw him retire too. So I'll talk about the positive mindset because he had it for sure. He's a great guy. Great guy, man. Congratulations. But I'm gonna end the video. Hopefully I'll go live again when I have enough topics. I've been wanting to get a little more in-depth topics. Maybe get some far out topics, really fry your brain, things I think about. Anyway, all right. Thanks for hanging out with me again. See you next time.